So we'll use the breath as our object of meditation today. So by focusing on by focusing on the natural breath, creates a sense of calm and contentment. As our breathing naturally slows down as we meditate, our mind naturally settles and really starts to enjoy exploring the breath. We do this by first focusing on the calming nature of the out-breath, and we can slow that out-breath slightly when we start, just to help us along and get us into that groove. We can really start to focus on the physically pleasant nature and the relaxing nature of breathing out, and really trying to focus on making each out breath enjoyable and pleasurable. And while there may be distracting sounds, when we focus on the breath, those sounds can become quite distant to us. And the breath, where at the start of our meditation can seem quite hard to focus on, but with sustained practice and repeatedly coming back to the breath, it feels that we've zoomed in, and that breath is not only easier to see, but it's hard to move away from. It's our entire attention, because it's enjoyable to pay attention to. as our mind settles, we can relax the amount of effort we're putting in. We only need to put the minimum effort required. But at the start of our meditation, that minimum effort is more, and as we continue to sit, we can relax that amount of effort as the mind naturally settles. As our mind settles, we may find things come up. There may be agitation, there may be restlessness. We might be wanting to get on to the next thing. We might be bored of this thing. Or we might be sleepy, tired, easily distracted. We might relax ourselves and then drift off into thought. So if we find ourselves fighting agitation, we can stick to the calming nature of the out-breath. If we're struggling to stay focused, we're dozing off into thought, or just not thinking about anything, half asleep, we could focus on the energizing quality of the in-breath. We can take a few slightly deeper, slightly stronger in-breaths, and that should wake us up a bit. So we're trying to find that middle ground of alertness, but also enjoyable, calm and contentment. And if we're in the position where we are awake, we are relaxed, and we are enjoying ourselves, we can see how much we can let go of that control over the breath. We can analyse to see if we really are just letting ourselves breathe rather than breathing ourselves. And if our mind is moving one way towards agitation or drowsiness, we may find that if we manage to beat that battle, the mind may bring up the opposite. And this can be very powerful. We can quickly see through this facade that the mind is putting up. How can we be so sleepy when 5 minutes ago we had enough energy to jump over trees, it feels like? Or if we're gritting our teeth, almost bouncing off the chair, we then find ourselves struggling to stay awake. And that's the mind being out of practice of staying present and staying with the breath. The mind is used to thinking, and we can only think in terms of past and future. So when we ask the mind to turn off and rest in awareness, without calculating, without creating, the habit of the mind rebels, and we've moved towards either agitation or drowsiness. And when we see our minds flick between the two extremes in one meditation, we can really look into that nature of the mind. We can see past these seemingly real emotions. Obviously we can be tired, we can be agitated, but when we notice and observe the mind go back and forwards between those two extremes in the space of 10 or 20 minutes, that can be really insightful. You may find we've grown weary of impatience, and then after we've got bored of listening to that impatience, after we've not responded to that impatience, we're rewarded with a wave of calm that will stay for a while. It's unlikely to stay forever, I wish it did, but we can then see the impermanent nature of those pleasant states as well. And we don't need to react to those either. We don't need to hold a fixed view on what paying attention to the breath means. We can stay in a particular place. It could be the tip of our nose, it could be that area at the back of our nose that we can't quite touch, we can't quite imagine, but we feel like that space where our nose and our mouth connects, right at the back there. We can feel air coming in. We can follow it down into our tummy. There's nothing wrong or right about following the breath. The reason why the breath is used by possibly all faiths is the one part of our existence that can be both automatic and deliberate. We can only walk intentionally. We can't subconsciously walk. We can't subconsciously chew. But if we forget to breathe, our breathing carries on. But the second we draw attention to it, often we control it. The skill of meditating in this tradition is observing the breath without manipulating it. Obviously at the start we need to ease ourselves in, and we're moving towards that place of neutral observation without intervention. But it's very hard not to have any influence on our breath. If we completely let go, the breath might not do what we want it to or what we think it should. We might find ourselves stopping breathing at the end of the breath, either with a full lung or an empty lung, and we might feel the need to breathe in ourselves rather than letting our body do the breathing. But that's where the fun comes in. Can we let go even more? If when we let go we are distracted for 10 minutes, then the mind isn't ready. But if we let go completely, and after only a few moments we lose our concentration and immediately bring it back, then obviously that's a good place to be working in. Like yoga, we don't overstretch and damage our bodies, but we listen and respond with a goal towards a particular graceful posture. And it's that grace in the breath that we're looking to observe. We're looking to observe what the body does when we get out of the way.